your right hand. Under the penalty of perjury, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Have a seat. And if you could please state and spell your name when you get settled there.
Sorry. Katrina Ensley, Katrina, Ensley, Ensley.
If I may, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good afternoon. Is it Officer Ensley?
Yes.
All right. Are you an officer with the Portland Police Bureau?
Yes.
And how long have you been in that job?
Just over 4 years.
And were you working in that job on August the 15th of last year, 2020?
Yes.
Were you in a particular unit or designation at that time?
Just patrol downtown Central.
Okay, so you were assigned to Central Precinct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall some of the events of August 15th in and around the Justice Center?
Yes.
Okay. And on that particular day, do you know what your assignment was?
Yes.
Okay, what was that?
A protest detail.
Okay, and generally speaking, what's a protest detail?
So it's a group of officers that are assigned just to respond to protest activity.
So if a call came in, a police report came in from somebody in the community, you would respond and take a
Just
report?
protest related.
Just protest related. Where were you physically located on the afternoon of August 15th?
So I started upstairs in just our Justice building. We were above looking out over 3rd Avenue, the Justice Center side, and we were watching a large group. And then when we would get dispatched, myself and another officer would get into a car and go and respond.
Okay, so you're physically in the Justice Center, some floors up. Do you know roughly how many?
It was either the 11th or 13th floor. It was up there.
And are there, at that location in the precinct, are there windows that allow you to look into Chapman Square?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where you were observing what was happening?
Yes.
Generally speaking, what events were occurring in front of the Justice Center that you observed from that location?
So there was a planned event happening. There were 2 different groups that were there. One was on the Justice Center side, and then the other side was in Chapman Square. That's where they started. I started around noon that day, and so we just observed the groups kind of going in and out of traffic, crossing 3rd Avenue, talking to each other, and then they would separate, and then they come back. So it was just kind of like that until we get a call.
Okay. Eventually, did you see if any of the members of the group that had planned a demonstration that day break off from the main group at the Justice Center?
I didn't physically see it because I got the call.
Okay.
So.
So I guess that leads me to, did you eventually receive a call and respond to meet Mr. Jason Britton?
Correct.
Okay. Had you ever met that person before that day?
No.
How did the information that Mr. Britton wanted to speak to an officer come to you?
Through dispatch.
Okay, so presumably a call to dispatch that was routed to you to
Correct.
respond.
Yes.
Okay. And did you meet with Mr. Britton?
I did.
Do you know, doesn't have to be to the minute, but roughly speaking, how much time went from when a call came into dispatch from Mr. Britton to when you actually met with him?
Yes, it was just over 30 minutes.
And where did you meet him?
5 in Washington and Southwest Portland.
And how far is that from the Justice Center?
Justice Center, it's at 3rd and Main, so 2, 3, 4, like 5 blocks.
Do you recall anything about how he appeared that day?
I mean, he had an injury, so we talked about that.
Where was the injury that you observed on his body?
Left upper eye.
Okay, and I want to show you what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit 30.
Oh, okay, it's right here.
Excuse me, 28. So you have that screen in front of you. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
And do you recognize what it's depicting?
Yeah, his eye injury.
Okay, so that's Mr. Britton?
Yes.
And is that how it appeared to you on that day?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we approach you for a moment?
Yeah, let's go in the.
it seems there's some questions about this testimony that he may want to object to, and they're clarifying right now. This is what they call a sidebar. And yes, Alan is the only male that is left on camera right now.
All right, we continue.
Thank you, Judge. And just where we left off, so in State's Exhibit number 28, that's how his eye appeared on that day?
Yeah.
And without describing precisely what he told you, did Mr. Britton explain how his eye came to look like that to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think those are all the questions that I have for you.
All right, cross-examination.